Welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're new, welcome, and if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Today I've just been thinking about what I would do, and then I found these beautiful, that I'd stuffed under something, these beautiful unicorn little UVT, what are they? What are they called? You know, those UV ABC type stickers. What are they? It doesn't say that that's what they are. I'll have to have a look. Let me just have a sticky beak here. I think they might be. They feel like they are. There's those ones. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? Oh, it's going to be hard to pick one. But they do, let me just double check, they do, they have a back, they feel vinyl. So there's that comes off, and then yes, they are the UV. Oh, you know the ones. So I'll pick one of those. This is a little book jewellery box. I'm going to put one of those on the top. I'm going to dust around here, which are the pages, in this pretty purple. And then I'm going to fill it with pearl pigment paste. So I'll start you off by dusting. I've done this once before, and I did it as an older fashion book with the gold edges. So there's a bit of cleaning up to do. I won't make you stick around for all of it, unless you want to. I won't be dusting any of that, so I'll turn that over. I want to just try to dust the lettering here. No, I won't. I'll wipe that off. I'll wipe that off because when I did it on the other one, I did it with gold, with a gold pen. And I don't know whether you can see it, I just got the bits that were raised. I don't want all of that there. So I'll let that dry. I've got a bigger pen, bigger rubber brush, and start to dust here. Now I could get a sponge and wet this and make it a paint. It would probably be easier, but I'll just do it this way. I don't know how this is going to come out with the pearl backing instead of the black backing, but I want the pearl backing. So it's a bit of an experiment. This would make a lovely little gift for a child to put their little knickknacks in. You can see the dust is flying everywhere. Just take it down to that edge. don't think I've got, I might have a metallic pen close to this colour that I can go over those letters with. I've had this little book mould for such a long time. I got it from Temu. I will try and find the link for it. I hope I don't lose the vibrancy of this when I put the pearl. I mean, because I'm not painting, I suppose I could paint the whole lot and that would save me a lot of dusting actually. Then I could do this in the black. And then that would come out pink. And then I could do the lid in the white. That might be how I'll do it. That way, all of the book. Yeah, I think that's the way. Good thinking, guys. So that means I can use, I'll just go around and paint all of this in this colour, because I really don't want to lose the vibrancy of this colour, and I think I will if I put the white, the pearl on it. They don't show up as well if you put clear or a lighter colour. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Good idea. And it's going to save a whole lot of cleaning up as well. I think one of my granddaughters might score this. And then what I'll do is I'll paint all of this, and then after it's been demolded, I'll go over it with a gold pen. Yep. Thinking on the run. Changing my idea as I go. Now, I just have to get that lip and find out, is that, I think I have to paint in here as well. Okay, so we're back. That was just someone opening the garage door. Sorry about that. So I'm just going right around here, getting in all these little nooks and crannies. I don't have a bigger brush than that, I don't think. Oh, hang on a minute. This might be a better one. Yeah, that's a better one. If you do it in circles like that, you shouldn't end up with any streaks. And it's better to use a soft brush rather than one of these hard brush. Well, they're soft as well, but they're for fine spaces. A soft fluffy one. This is just I think it's an eyebrow brush, eyeshadow brush. And I'm going all the way around here. I kept going when I wasn't filming, just so that I could get this done. Go all around here. Get it all in there. I think if my vision is correct, this will look really, really pretty. such a gorgeous, I think you would probably call this fuchsia. Okay, do it the once over. Now I'm going to get the big brush, the big fluffy brush. Give it a hit over here first of all. And then I'm going to take this fluffy brush over above my waste bin and just really go around like this to get any extra off and make sure I've covered everything. So that's what I'm doing over here. Won't be a minute. It's just about getting all the extra stuff off and then checking it, because it will float, and that's okay if it floats, it'll float to the back. Okay, so now here's the tricky bit. Pushing it back through without taking any of this off. So flip it, flip it, flip it. Okay, so that's that. This does not need to be done because this will come out with that beautiful pink, because that's the way it's going to be that way. Should I do the pink and then do it all black? Will this show up on the pink? Otherwise it's going to be pink and then white. I might need to dust this, I think, actually. And then I'll fill a whole lot in black. I think I'm right. Because otherwise it's going to look odd. This is going to be this beautiful pink with a white lid. And yes, that will show up. That will show up on that. But I think it should, yep, no, I'll do it in the pink. If it doesn't look any good, I can always do another one. So now I'm going to turn this one inside out with all the points to make sure that I get it completely done. And I did clean this morning. And then get my big brush. And get this done here. So if you've got a fluffy brush, you can get into all these little nooks and crannies there as well. Yeah, because I really don't want to lose the luster of this pink. It's gorgeous. I'll have to buy some more from Temu for that one. I think I've got one more over there. So this has taken a fair bit of it. As I said, if you swirl it in circles with a soft brush, you won't get any streaks. Especially if you come back with the bigger soft brush afterwards and just burnish it in and then get rid of any extra. Now that there, does that need to be done? I don't think so. All right, so here comes the big one. I'll just do this, like this, over here. Oh. Try not to touch it with my hands where I've dusted it. Okay, now getting it back in. See there? Scratched it a little bit, scratched it there a little bit. Just get in there. Just touch that up. Touch that up. Just get in there. Okay. So that's it. I will bring you back once I've mixed up the resin and debubbled it. I actually have to take a video of me debubbling with this new machine that I've got because ISTOYO would like to see what I'm doing wrong, which is good because they're very helpful like that. So I will put this away. Used up most of that, but I'm pretty sure this might be same colour. Nah, nothing like it. So we'll have to try and get some more of that one. Is that it? Nope, it's too purple. Right, have to find some more of this one. This is gorgeous. Okay, I will bring you back when I'm ready to pour. Stage. I did put it through the debubbler, and the debubbler did nothing. So I videoed that part of it, and I'm going to send that off to ISTOYO because they asked me to send a video. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but hopefully they will find a solution. So I'm going to pour this black, and I've used this black pigment from Temu. I've used the epoxy river table A and B from Platinum, from AA Composites. And this will take 2 days to set up. That's why I've got it on just one of my leveling tables, so I can move that out of the way and keep working if I want to do something else tomorrow or today, because this will take 2 days to set up. It's a deep pour. And it's the last of what I've got here, so I've got to get some more. I can't spray in here because of the mica powder. But I'm going to pour slowly. And hopefully not get any bubbles. And hopefully not pour it all over the place. Just get my paper towel. Put that there. Now what I'll do is I'll give that a bit of a whoosh down here and down in the corner of the book down here. Sorry, you can't see that. Bit of a whoosh down here. I just want to get those bubbles out. And I might take this. It's silicone. Hopefully it won't scratch the pigment off down there, but it will scratch the pigment off up there. So that's not a good idea. What a nuisance. Hang on a minute. Let's fix this before I go any further. Let's just fix this. I'll redust this here. And that's going to take that off. You know, when you have those days, must be wet. You just have those days and things go wrong. Okay, that'll do. Hope I didn't get any resin in my favourite brush. Might have to clean that with some alcohol. All right, so we'll keep going. Down here. Now I weighed the other one that I made of these. It said 270 grams, or 275 actually. So I'll let that settle for a minute. Push this in here so I don't have too much to clean up later. Like that. Get that there. Squish gently. Squish gently. Yeah. Then I'll fill this up, the lid. Now, was I meant to dust that edge? I just have to check something. Sorry, guys. Was I meant to dust that? Let me see. Yes, I was, because that's that edge there. Right. Where is that colour? Right here. So, it's got to go up here. I meant to check that before. I've got just dusting around this edge here now. Probably would have looked alright with that black edge, but if I'm doing the whole thing pink, I might as well do the whole thing pink. Just going to swish it over here. Alright, now I'm really out of this colour. And this is where, this one is where you can get bubbles right in the corners. So I'll let it go down. I'm going to just push. See, a bubble came out. Just gently release. Push, gently release. This needs to have more. Push, see that bubble come out? And that bubble come out. I'm just doing it gently, and that bubble. And I'm just going to push it gently like this all the way around. Make sure there's another bubble. Another one. Because it is mica powdered, I can't get my tool in. See the bubbles coming out? Pushing that down. Another bubble. Another bubble. Along this edge. I'm sort of rolling my finger towards the black resin, so it's going to push any bubbles out if they're there. One more. Yep, another bubble there. Hopefully that's it. Now I'll top this up. Top this up. This. Let's push that into that corner. without touching the mica powder. Just make sure it's in there. Okay. A little bit more. A little bit more here. I want to dome it if I can. The mold's a little wonky, I think, because I've been storing it for a while. Okay, that's domed as much as I want to push it. Get up here and have a look out at the camera side. Yeah. See that side? Ah. Right, if that happens, you can bring it across like this. It does not take much to break the surface. And once it does, we get a whole lot of misery. A whole lot of misery. Just bring this here. A bottle of some sort. Something heavier than that. See, I haven't even spritzed this. It's all sitting there beautifully until it decided it wasn't. Push it back in towards the mold. I think that should be good now. Just get this edge here. Bring it back in. I'm not putting any more in that. I don't want it to, oh, I don't know. tell with the lights. I think that's enough. I'm not pushing it with that. I've got enough in there to do something with. Right, I'll work out what I'm putting that into, and I will bring you back when this is ready for demold. Well, it's demolding time, and I have demolded this. Now, I used this pigment paste yesterday, and yes, I did put a little lump of it in, but I'm very conscious about mixing the pigment through it. Thought that I had done it, mixed it for a couple of minutes, got right down to the bottom, and there was a lump of pigment there. So it shows that you've got to be really careful. This has set on this side with no worries, but this was the last, I was trying to get the last little bit of resin out without getting out the pigment paste itself, and that's why this isn't quite as thick as some of the others would be. Let me show you. It's not far off it though, but you can see it's not quite. If I line that up there, it's just that it's a millimetre difference. But that millimetre means that I've now got to go around, well I would anyway, go around and fix this edge here. But see how, I don't know if you can see that, see how you've got your little rings here? They may not set, and if they're not setting it's because it's unmixed pigment. In which case I'll have to throw this out because this is the back and I can't put little rhinestones on to cover it. But that was just extra stuff. Hopefully this hasn't been ruined, so let's demold this and see how it is going. Look at that. Oh well, it looks like that's just been ruined. Let me have a look here, I'll get my scribe. Can I fix that? It's just a little bubble and it seems to have moved the pigment off there. I might be able to fix that with a little bit of, and there's one there. Even though I squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, I didn't get any bubbles in this. On the other one I did, but I think I got my dotting tool in and went around it. I couldn't do that with this one because it was taking the pigment off. But look at that, that is such a beautiful colour. I'll trim this up here. I will mix some of this colour, if I've got any left, with some UV resin, and I'll fill these little pockets here. It's a pity they're such big holes, but I'll try and fix it. So that's that. Well, having said that, I'm hoping that this doesn't have huge holes in it, but we'll see. Look at that. Now, be very careful when you're unmolding this because this is quite sharp along here. Just always turn your mold back in the right way, straight up, so it doesn't stretch out of shape. Isn't that stunning? I like that. Wow. It has, can you see here? A couple of little spots where the pigment paste has been knocked off, not quite gotten in there perhaps. But you know, it's a book, it's an old book, and books have marks, so I'm not going to be worried about that. I'll trim this up because that's very sharp. And if I can, I'll get in here with some gold. I'm just not sure if I've got anything that's thin enough to get into there. Oh, so on the other one I did was, I did this with a gold pen first, and then I dusted. I mean, I could leave it like that, Anyway, that fits there like that, and that fits there like that, and it's a little book, or it could go that way. I think it's much of a muchness. That way. It's a little book that is a jewellery box. So on top of that, I'm going to pick one of these. Not sure which one. They're all beautiful. And I'll put that on top of here. It'll have to be one that sort of fits. Maybe that one. And that will be a little girl's jewellery box. I like that. So I'll trim all this up, fix this, and come back, bring you back when it's time to put on the UVT DABC sticker thing. I'll show you how I'm going to try and fix this. I don't know if it's going to work or not. This is my resin blue light, and I know that you can get these from different companies. I got this one from Temu. It's been working okay, so I'm assuming that it's good enough. These are my little holes here. I'm going to take out that without pulling down, just make it sure that it's clean. I have taken the edge off, and because it left that mark, I've gone around with black paint pen, which leaves it a glossy finish that way, just around the edges. You can't do that with every colour, but with black it's okay. So I'm going to put that there. This is the little tray that slides in like this, and this lights from the top and the bottom, and it goes up to 5 minutes. So I've mixed this. I'm going to put a little bit in at a time, because you've got to be able to cure resin from both sides, which I can't do, or at least it's got to be transparent. So I'm going to do a little bit at a time. Get that bubble out of the bubble. In there. And wipe this off. And just wipe the overflow off. Now, there's a little bit in there. I'm going to put that in and see if that will set. Like that. And I will set it for, that's going on for 3 minutes. And the lights, the top and bottom, are going on that. So I'll do that. In the meantime, I've deburred this, but I have not gone around this with the black pen, so I'll show you what I'm doing there. These are really good, just Temu. Again, I'm just going around here, just touching it. I just want to get rid of that that edge, and until I get some of Michelle's Resin Restore, it's just the best I can do for it. Just around here like that. Just to take away the different colour of where you have had to take the edge off it. Because when you sand down resin, it leaves a matte finish. So that's a bit better. You can still see where I've taken the edge off, but at least it's the same colour now. It's down to 87 on here. Let's put that there. I would fast forward you on this, but I don't know how to do that. So if you don't want to watch this tick away for 3 minutes, please feel free to fast forward. And we'll see if this works. I've tried not to make it too opaque because it won't cure through opaque, but I have mixed mica powders in to resin before, into the UV resin, and it has worked. So as long as I haven't made this too opaque. And I'm using this. Now I don't know if Temu's UV resin is good, not good. It's the only one I could afford at the time when I was still learning how to do resin. And I've got it here, so I'm using it. 27 seconds. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything in here to... Oh, that's silly, it's still drying. Yeah, always be careful that you don't put your hand on wet paint. I don't know whether I'm going to get anything in there. Even a needle point I think will be too big for this. So if you're going to do this, do it before with a pen. All right, let me take this out. See, has that set? Oh, it has. So now I'm going to put the next layer in. And I'm just going to build it up. Wipe the stylus. Wipe the excess. Don't want it dripping down there. Pop it in for another 3 minutes. If you do it layer by layer, it's not so thick, so it's got a better chance of setting. Yesterday, it was yesterday, one of my earlier videos, I did what I consider to be a really, really pretty cupcake, high tea, sort of 3-tier cake stand. And I put it together to see how it was. And so I could take photos to put on eBay. And last night or early this morning in bed, I'm thinking, I didn't let that set up for a few days. And in this heat up here, because the top one I did a few days before, I was experimenting because I liked it. I then moved on to the second and the third shelf. Bottom shelf is fine because it sits flat on whatever surface you've got it on. The middle one is not supported. And I thought it's going to start to bend because it has not had the 2 or 3 days or even longer, a week or so, on a flat surface to really go hard. Came out this morning, sure enough, the slightest bend in it. So I pulled it apart, and if that happens to you, put it on a flat surface, put something over the top that won't indent onto your piece of work, and then put some weights on it, and it will flatten back out again. And then just leave it to cure for a week or 2, because really that's what you should let resin do before you assemble things. So we have 75 seconds. And I did have another one of these colours, and if I remember correctly, Temu was selling them in a set of three different shades of pink. So I'm going to have to get it. I really like that, and it's a pity they don't sell it in a bigger amount. But look at the vibrancy in that, even in the UV resin. That is beautiful. Just beautiful. It's got a shimmer to it. I've got this amount. I think this is it. So I'll have to be looking for that one again. Right, 35 seconds. And then today, I'm not sure what I'm going to film today. I've got to think about that. But you'll see it when I decide. I'm just cleaning up this. I don't want to do it here because these are my balance tables. So I'll just do it over here. It's much easier to clean up your molds straight away than be... Oh, there we go. So just wipe my hands. take this out. Good. Good. Okay. Next layer, and you can see it's starting to blend in, which is good. Like that. And there's just a little bit of overflow there. You may not be able to see it, but I can. I don't want that setting. Oh God, that has already set. Okay. Put this back in. Another 3 minutes. Can't remember what I was saying to you. So I'm just cleaning up this book mold. I don't know whether you can get this anymore. I will check it out, and if I can find it, I'll put it in the link below. And if this looks all right when I finish fixing it, this will be going on to the eBay store, and you'll find the link to the eBay store in the description, in my description. So I'm quite excited. If you like my content, please like, share and subscribe. It really helps. And I want to give this a serious go. I started doing this just as a one-off, just to see what it was like. And that was, wow, nearly 3 years ago, actually. I thought it was only 2, but it's not. It's more likely nearly 3 years ago. And I was putting off starting a YouTube channel because I thought I didn't want to put up with the nastiness that some people put on, that I've heard on other YouTubers that I follow. And I thought, I really don't want to put up with that nastiness. And I thought, why am I letting other people dictate what I want to do? So I decided I'd give it a go. You never know if you don't give it a go. I'm hoping that I'm putting up stuff that you are liking. I'm just turning this inside out and cleaning that. So it's ready for the next one. I do have little metal corners that can go on here and here to make it look like a book, but I don't think I'll worry about this because it's for a child. With the other one, it is a replica of Peter Rabbit and Mrs. Tittlemouse, and I actually have a sticker of that on here. In fact, I'll get that and show you. And for that, because it's meant to be a classic book, it's meant to be a classic book, I have these little card things, and I have no idea where I've put them, but they had different titles, so I stuck that on, and then I UV'd the top. But I've got these little antique-y looking corners to make the whole book look old. And you'll see here how I painted that. I might have dusted it because there's a little bit of dust that's gone, and I didn't worry about it too much because it's an old book, and old books do tend to have this sort of marking. Yeah, so that was that one, and I didn't get any bubbles in this one, and I have, oh, just down there, but not like this big one. And I'm sure I would have run a tool around there and it didn't scrape off the mica powder, so I don't know why it took it off this one. All right, this is starting to look good. I think maybe one more. It might almost be ready. Just bring that up to the level. Now I'll wipe that. I don't want it higher, I don't want a bubble there. So I'll just take off a little bit. And take off a little bit of this one. I want it flat. I don't want it divoted, and I don't want it sitting up high either. I think that might be good. We'll put that back in. This will perhaps be the last set of setting. So I'm thinking, which one would you choose, guys? I think this is beautiful. Can't be too wide. And if it is wide and I have to cut some off, I don't want to cut off anything that is important to the picture. Look at that, it's so cute. So if I cut that down, I'm going to cut her wings off. I'm thinking maybe this one, because if I do cut it off, I can cut off down here. I'm thinking that one. Or this one. So it's that one or that one. That one or that one. That's too wide. I can cut that down there and maybe there. This one I could possibly cut here and maybe here. It's probably going to be this one because this one is even narrower, I think. Yeah, see, that's already narrower than this one. So I'll probably do this one. Cut these off. I think these are meant to be for cups, but I didn't want them for cups. I could do a little tray, jewellery tray, put that in the bottom of it. So we've got 65 seconds. And then hopefully it might be enough to get away with it. Otherwise, one of my granddaughters will have it. I just have to see. Yeah, I didn't know what UVDTF, I think they are. So it's obviously got something to do with, well, I think it's got something to do with UV light, I'm not sure. But I didn't realise, just they're a vinyl sticker. Yeah, so good. Very good quality. And easy to apply. And they don't, from my understanding, they don't need to have a cover put on top of them. So you don't have to worry about top coating. You just put them down. There we go. That light comes on when it's finished. Right, now, how am I off here? So, no, there is still a divot. You can see on this one, it's still down like that. This is still down there. It's getting better because I'm not putting heaps in. This one is still down, so it's going to take a few more tries. I will turn this off. You've seen how I'm doing it. I'll put you on pause. We'll turn you off and I'll finish this and then I'll bring you back when I'm ready to apply this. So, next step. That's just curing something else I wanted to double check on. I've done this and it looks like it's cured and it looks like it's matched. However, you can still see that, and I'm not happy with that to sell it, and I'm not really happy with that to give it to one of my grandkids. So what I've decided to do And it might be overkill, but I don't care. I'm going to put a row of diamante things underneath around here, not on this side because this side sits against this and then it won't sit properly. So I'm going to do a row of diamantes under here. Then I'm going to do, and that'll cover these, then I'm going to do a row of diamantes on this edge, and then I'm going to do a row of diamantes on this edge. It's not going to stick to my fingers. So there's 3 rows of diamantes basically wrapping around this edge. That should cover it. So I'll do a couple, and then rather than hold you up, now what size did I get? They're fairly big. I think I'll get these ones. Just pouring them in over here. I think that's the right size, is it? Yep, okay. So I'll do that. This I can take out. This has always been a bit sticky from when I resined it, but I didn't have, because this is UV resin over the top of this, but I didn't have this at the time. I had a cheaper nail one. It's still sticky. Just get one of my lights out. Just wipe that down. Still a bit sticky. I might put it in, zap it again. Put it on for 5 minutes this time. There you go. And I've set that one up. See, that's already set up. That was the extra. So that can just peel out now and then throw out. Well, that's such a pretty colour. Anyway, I'm going to throw that out. I'll clean that out later. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I am throwing this out because it only took a couple of little spots. This was okay. Well, that was a bit soft. That was sort of okay. That was sort of okay. That was sort of okay. This was not okay. And it just did not set up. When I poked it through, it came all the way through to the other side. And this is a really good example of how unmixed pigment paste will ruin your piece. Now, this was just a bit of extra resin for me, so I'm not overly fussed. But if that was, say, something this size, and I was really worried about it, because it came from the same batch, luckily that this came from the last little bit that was in the bottom, where I saw the lump of resin, the lump of pigment. So that must have just caught the bit that wasn't set. So I'm throwing that out. If it was on the front, I might be able to rescue it, but that's on the back, so that's not going to be rescuable. All right, so what I'm going to do, if this works, and I'm not putting my gloves on because I'm working with glue. Just going to put this along like this, and then these along here. Now this is overkill. I really want to, and this E6000 strings badly. See, look, it's like a spider web. It's like a spider web. Just put that there. I really do want to save this piece. So I'm going to go along like that. all the way along. See, that's covered that one. I'll take you down to here, or I might take you down this side, and then I'll do the other sides. I can't go straight on to doing this edge because this has to dry. See how it strings. And I'm almost out of this. Just drying it. Go back here and fill in the little spaces where I've missed the glue. Like that. And yes, this is underneath, but I figure if it's for a little girl, she's not going to care how many rhinestones are on it. I could be wrong, but I think kids like, see, that's that other one that I'm covering. Now look at this here. Now getting, this is from Temu, so you get the stylus on one end and you get the triangular cone shape wax on the other. You can rebuy these, they unscrew and they screw back in, so I've got some coming from Temu. I like these better than this, but this is what I've got at the moment, so that's what I'm using. I mean, the pencils work well. I just like the wax head. I think this white is meant to be. It's not a colouring pencil, although if you go like that it colours. But I think it's meant to be a waxy sort of pencil. Now I'm just going to come along, make sure that these are straight. Push them down. Like that. Put the next lot on. Okay. And these rhinestones I got from Temu, I'll link it all in the description. Just, I'll have to look up the book mould and see if it can still be purchased. Alright, so that is how that's going to look underneath. Just come along here. Make sure they're pushed down. Alright, so I'll keep working. I'll do this side, and then I'll bring you back when they're dry and I'm ready to do the other edge. So the last part of this is to put the sticker on. Now, I fixed the holes under here, and maybe you might think it's a bit of overkill with the rhinestones, but I wanted to make sure that they were covered. So I filled up the holes with the UV resin that was matched with this mica, set that, and then I went over. So this is the underside. I went around with a row of rhinestones, and then I went around with a row here, and then I went around with a row on top. Problem is with that, and it's only a problem if you want it to be, is it doesn't actually sit in now because of the thickness of the rhinestones. It doesn't quite sit in, but a child, I think, will overlook that and just let it sit on top. It seems like one of my granddaughters has claimed this one already, so I'll finish it off, send her a photo and see if she likes it. Her mum's going to buy it for her. So what I'm going to do now, the last thing, is put this on top. So the way I'm going to do that is to take this and try to, where's my pen? No, I'll get a pencil. Over here. Right. Now, that's not going to stick, so that's that way. I might just line this up like this. I don't want to cut too much of the bow. What I was saying was, I don't want to cut off too much. I might lay that there like that. If I just cut this edge here, that might take it to the diamantes, and then this goes to about there. Whereas if I cut it, a little back end of this off here, I'm mainly losing flowers, and then I might be able to get these here. So just going to see how it fits. Yeah, I think if I cut that down here, just little scissors, I'm going to cut that down here. Like that, and then fit that in there. So now you can see that that's good. And as good as I thought my eye was, it's not. So I'm going to straighten that up here. Cut that straight down there. This is sort of a 3D. It's not a flat sticker. Little bumps and things, so it's got a bit of shape to it. Throw that out. And put that there. And then it's going to have to finish. Will I take it to there? Which way will I take it? Yeah, if I take it so I get all of that butterfly, I'm going to miss that one. So what I'll do is I'll do it this way. Cut that down. Like that. It's better to, what's the old saying, measure twice, cut once. I'll cut some of this off the top. So that will fit there. That's where I want it to. I'll take a little bit off here. I'm not sure how much of the white underneath. Whether the sticker seems to finish here and here, so that may be where it fits. But I'm not going to take the chance. I'm going to cut this off here. There. Now, if I put that there, that means that that is going to be there. So that's what I'm going to do. I will cut that there. And I can see the indentation I've made. So now that will fit perfectly there. So now what we do, put all this away. It's a nifty little ruler. I got that from Temu too. And the scissors. So what we're going to do now is take off the white backing. Now, see how that's come off? Glue that down, rub that down, because you don't want that coming off yet. So I'll try this side. Take it a little bit more slowly. No. See, that's, I shouldn't be taking the top off, I should be taking the backing off. Where's the backing of this? There's two ways to take this off. Now that needs to stick. That needs to stick there. So the backing comes off carefully. This gets put down and you get one chance to do this. So I'm sorry if my head's in the way. And rub it in. Check. Now, can you hear that? That's got a bubble. So you get, it's got a bit of a big bubble there. Just slice it, let the air out and push it together. There's another little one here. Push the air together. Push it out. There's little air bubbles. Now, we're going to pull this off, this top part, because the air bubbles may have been, I've just realised may have been, because I've only used these a couple of times, they've been on this top cover. So pull this off gently and slowly. And there it is, and the air bubble was in here, not in here. So that slicing didn't even go through to this. Just make sure that's all down. Don't know why that has left that mark there though. That's interesting. That was not there before. Looks like it's weird. Because that came off. Where was it? That was there and that was there. And it all came off and then it left this other mark, which is weird. It just spoiled the whole thing. I have no idea why it's done that. Anyway, that is that little book, and it's a jewellery box, and I'm pretty sure my granddaughter will like that one. It's I filled it with black. It's got the diamantes. And yes, it won't fit exactly snugly like it should because of this row. But that had to be done, that was where it needed to be done to cover the holes, which is a shame, but that's there. And that's it. So if you are liking my content, please like, share, subscribe. I'm still working. If you know why that has left that mark, I might just sort of clean it a bit and see if that comes off. If you know why it's left that mark, I have no idea why, because this was set quite well. Can you just let me know in the comments? But please visit my eBay store. The link is in the description, and I'll follow up at the end of this with some photos. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.